If there's one thing the Irish government can be depended on to do, it is to sit back and allow children to live in pain over long periods of time and ignore their parents' repeated cries for help. The high profile case of young Harvey, who was denied surgery for many, many years after Simon Harris had made a promise that no child should be waiting for more than a few months on a waiting list for surgery, waited years and finally died this summer due to complications from scoliosis. And I understand is still even to meet and acknowledge the parents of that boy. This time we have Micheál Martin, the so-called Taoiseach. He was cornered today, or certainly approached today, by another mother of another child that is being denied surgery to alleviate their pain. And what's most disgusting about this particular show that you will see for yourself is the dismissive way in which Martin interacts with this mother who's grieving for her child's health almost as she watches her deteriorate and suffer in pain, while Martin sits back, barely makes eye contact with her, and sits thumbing through some notes that he pretends he's reading or that he gives a damn about. Completely dismissive. Then he tries to pass the buck onto consultants and doctors to say, well, there's obviously a reason why they're doing nothing. Basically, what do you want me to do about it? What do you want me to do about it? And this mother's mindset is, well, maybe if I can get talking to him, maybe he can do something. Maybe he can push this case along. If it was you, would you not do everything in your part for your child that was sick and suffering? The woman has done nothing wrong. She's done everything right. And you can see the disgusting dismissiveness here from Micheál Martin. The piece reads, Taoiseach Micheál Martin was confronted by a mother over long delays in her daughter's care, her health care. Antoinette Burke said her daughter, who was diagnosed with hip dysplasia at age 4, is now 18 and suffering severe pain due to a lack of surgery. This has been going on for 14 years. 14 years. Now she's able to make contact with Martin. I want to show you a couple of video clips of his shocking way of dealing with this. But in effect, really, is it shocking, or does it not just show you the measure of the man, in inverted commas, that he actually is? Listen to look at how he doesn't even make eye contact. Listen to this.
Stand by. When you are on stand here, you're going in there to talk about healthcare, and this is your legacy. This is 15 years on the 24th of this month. Katie be waiting on surgery. Now your secretary has all Katie's files because I sent them. She said she informed you. I don't know whether she did or not. I've spoken to Simon Harris. He's ignored me. I've requested meetings with you, Simon Harris, Jennifer Carter-McNeil. She told me under the Governance Act that she cannot tell anybody in the HSE to help Katie.
No, what we can do. No,
if that is the case, why do you have a Minister for Health?
But the Minister for Health
because my daughter is suffering.
I know, but the problem is clearly.
I know, but the problem is he doesn't give a damn about that woman's daughter. I know, but she brought up the point, why do we even have a health minister if they can't advocate for children in severe need? Let me tell you one thing. If the child was coming from somewhere else in the world, maybe somewhere in the Middle East, they would clear the decks. They would clear the decks, roll out the red carpets, bring the families along and provide treatment just like that. But there's no brownie points to be had. There's no virtue signaling to be had in helping Irish children who are languishing in pain for, in this case, what, 14 odd years? 14 years. Harris doesn't give a damn. Yeah, and neither does Micheál Martin. I know. He says, I know. But the problem is clearly, problem?
So for some reason, the clinical people, the consultants, made a
yeah,
judgment.
but if they had have operated on Katie
they
when
don't
she
believe
was
they- yeah.
4,
And they don't believe, for
she
some reason they
wouldn't be
didn't.
getting, no, but she wouldn't be now needing a hip replacement.
Shut the fuck up! LGBT. These are radical.
Sorry about that. It was a little overrun from that video. But yeah, I think maybe that, to be honest with you, that woman's reaction at the end of that last clip there would probably mirror this Irish lady's, only she's too polite to come out with it and say it. So that's that woman's words to Micheál Martin. There's another clip here taken from another angle where she expands on it. Listen to what she says. Listen to the pain in her voice and look at the dismissiveness, the hatefulness, the I don't give a damnedness of Micheál Martin towards this woman with a sick child. How would you feel if it was your child? How would you feel? Leave me your thoughts and comments below, of course, and let me know how you would feel. Maybe it's an obvious question, but Martin's just squirming and wriggling around, trying to get out of it and pass the buck off, but the consultant obviously had a reason not to do it. Oh yeah, we can't overstep governance. If it was his kid, don't you think it would be seen to as a matter of urgency? Forget governance.
For instance, she was 4 years old. She has hip dysplasia. She has a retroverted pelvis. She has a twisted femur. And one leg is shorter than the other.
Look at that. Martin isn't even making eye contact with her. He's not even making eye contact with her. Look. Staring at medical notes that he's pretending to read through and analyze, simply so he doesn't have to look this woman in the eye.
And the ball and socket is so worn down, it's saucer shaped. And nobody in this country will do anything for her. This is 15 years on the 24th of this month. Katie will be waiting on surgery. But if they had have operated on Katie when she was 4,
And they don't believe, for some reason they didn't.
No, but she would.
Listen to that. Instead of showing some shred of compassion for that woman, look at that woman's face. That woman's face on account of her daughter in pain for 15 years. No compassion whatsoever from Martin. Oh, but no, but there must be a reason. But they've talked about it, but there must be a reason. Zero compassion and zero empathy for this woman and for her child who's been in pain, serious pain for at least 15 years, she said, coming.
Me now needing a hip replacement at the age of 18 years of age.
I needed some way to tell him, because I don't know if his secretaries are telling him, you know, when I'm sending emails in or whatever, because they probably get hundreds. I've stood outside the door, I've protested, and I've had ministers come out, and to be honest with you, personally I think it was a photo op, because once I disappeared from the dog gates, they don't do anything. They're not good to us.
In relation to the meeting just there with Antoinette Burke, that case may not be necessarily emblematic. What it could be...
May not be emblematic? Well, what about the case of the young lad Harvey? Huh? Look at that man. Look at those team of ghouls that he surrounds himself with. They can't even muster a smile or a face amongst them that would signal anything remotely resembling warmth. A rogues gallery, a motley crew.
Reflect, though, is the relationships between the clinical world and families and parents. I read the note that Antoinette sent me there, and there's been a lot of interaction with very, very senior consultants who apparently from that note are saying that they didn't believe that surgery was the right course of action. It's a very, very difficult case for a mother. The struggle and the journey for that family has been a long one from the day the Hilly was born. It is a very, very difficult and painful journey for families and mothers want their best for their child. I understand that fully.
No, you don't. You understand it about your own child, maybe, or children, or did at some point in your life. But you don't give a damn about these women and their children that are in pain. It's patently obvious. The picture says 1,000 words. The body language speaks volumes. Lack of empathy, lack of anything. If he was going to a GAA final in Croke Park, he'd be over the moon. He's not over the moon to try and help children, though, is he? So the bottom line is, with this case here in particular, Katie Byrne's mother said she needs surgery, but no doctor in the country will facilitate it. A brave mother intercepted Micheál Martin at Fianna Fáil's Think In. Think In? I could think of a word to substitute for think. Think in Cork today. She says he's ignored police to help her daughter. The young woman's hip is deteriorating. She falls after walking a few meters. Her mother fears that without surgery to fix her hip, she'll continue to be in pain and could end up back in a wheelchair. The Cork mother is begging the government to intervene. They will intervene when it suits them. They will intervene for cases that it will get them virtue signaling points. They will intervene when it thinks it will do something to boost their public image, to appease certain elements of their voter base. Otherwise, forget about it. Forget about it. How can I have faith in surgeons who won't do anything to help my child? We have a surgeon in Florida waiting and ready to operate at a cost of €300,000. So it can be done. And there is someone out there who's willing to do it. Mother said she's been told no surgeon in the country could do what she needed, and they wouldn't refer her to another country. Said, I've been contacting Martin's office since 2010, 15 years, and it's only in the last year we've gotten a response. 15 years, and from the secretary. Good grief, what message is that sending out? She went over, she tried to speak to him. She said, when I saw he was here, I said, I'm going over. He needs to know. He's going in there to talk about healthcare. Hopefully he can keep Katie in the back of his mind. The back of his mind, he's not in his head anywhere. Wouldn't scrape the children off the soles of his shoes. He stood on them. Hopefully he'll show that he cares. I'm sorry to say this, but you got to live in hope. I get it. But don't hold your breath. Will he? I don't know. But all I can do is hope, and fair play to you. And I hope and believe that there'll be some kind of positive resolution to this. Maybe there will be. If nothing else, folks, leave a comment under this video. Share this video out. Let people see it. Maybe this will contribute in some minute way to some kind of pressure being put on this villain to actually get his finger out of his ass and do something. But like I said, leave me your comments below. Share the video, cut and paste the link. It's easy. It takes a few seconds. Drop it into whatever groups you're part of, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, whatever. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, but that's not particularly important. What is important is that you watch, you comment, and you share. For now, I'm Rick Munn. This is No Risk, No Reward Media. Over and out.